Hello everyone, and Happy New Year. I pray that this year brings you profound closeness to the God of life and light and love through the Spirit of God who dwells in you and all around you. I pray that this closeness to God brings you closer and closer in love to all your neighbors, all the people that you come across in all your daily living. I pray also that for us, the category of neighbor expands wider and wider and wider until it encompasses the whole earth, every living person, and every person who will ever live, and all the marvelous and beautiful non-human life that fills our truly miraculous planet. I think that's the idea of neighbor that Jesus wants us to have too. And all of this must have as its foundation our closeness to God. But here's the catch. Closeness to God does not happen automatically or by itself. Closeness to God is a deeply relational reality, and as the famous saying goes, it takes two to tango. I want to ask you to be intentional about drawing near to God this year. Such a desire and commitment is ultimately an act of faithfulness to yourself, your fullest self. It's an act of faithfulness to your neighbor, all of your neighbors, to be your fullest self with them and for them. And since your neighbors includes the entire planet, drawing near to God is then an act of faithfulness to all creation. And because God is head over heels passionately in love with creation, your faithfulness to creation through drawing near to God is ultimately an act of faithfulness to God too. When you make a decision to cultivate the desire and act out of commitment to draw near to God, it's an absolute win-win-win for everyone and everything. One way I've been trying to draw near to God lately is by engaging more of myself in relation to God than just my intellect. I deeply want my heart to be fully alive to the reality and presence and passion of God alive in me and in all things. I have found poetry about God and relationship with God to be extremely helpful for this. So I want to read a completely silly and completely beautiful poem by Hafiz. Hafiz was a 14th century Persian Sufi master. He wrote countless poems about drawing near to God. Here's one. God and I have become like two giant fat people living in a tiny boat. We keep bumping into each other and laughing. I absolutely love the playfulness and the humor and the silly imagery, but the very serious intimacy of this beautiful poem. How delighted are you when you accidentally bump into a beloved friend, maybe at the grocery store or at a park? What would it be like to develop a consciousness of awareness of God's presence everywhere to such an extent that you're continually bumping into Him during your daily tasks? We can develop such a consciousness. In fact, we're not just invited into it, we're passionately pursued by God into it. It takes intentionality and effort, but it is worth it. For you, for me, for everything. It gets at the core meaning of salvation.